Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Blitz on looping and improvisation.
Are you saying that you're using those loops or those different segments live, or is that more for recording practice purposes?
Both.
Both. Cool. Okay.
So currently, the way that it goes is we've been doing that method, or I've been doing that method, and I've been writing stuff on my own, and then I have all these little sequences and loops, and it might be like a bongo or a shaker pattern, and yes, we'll play those live, and then I manipulate those samples live with filters and stutter effects and stuff like that. But we want to take that and have the band co-writing everything together and using so this is the bedroom producer compositional format essentially, but take the bedroom producer compositional format and extrapolate it into a 4-piece band, and then live for sure a lot of that polished stuff is what you're going to hear live. So I can almost guarantee that some of the things that we would record in pre-production on these demos, where I'm like just capturing jam session loops, I can almost guarantee that a lot of that stuff will end up live as well.
And now what's going to happen though is since he's recording, all of these live instruments, we're going to subtract those live. Like we will be playing those parts, and then there's going to be these additional, the spice on top of those.
Yeah. Cool. Can I put in a request for an album of just the loops? It reminds me of during quarantine there were some bands that were releasing stems for all of us that to play around with.
That's cool.
Oh wow, yeah,
it was really fun. I say this although my Ableton 10 manual is holding up my monitor at home. So, I don't get in there as much as I should, but I just think that the flexibility of a program like that must really offer you all so much in terms of creativity, right?
It's the coolest.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of a good idea to like maybe a merch item where we sell a USB of a bunch of different Ableton stems.
Yeah,
and allow people to have fun with them.
That's a really good idea to stem out the album. That could be really fun. I think Lotus has some things like that, and that's a really 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 cool. We actually have a remix album. Speaking of things like that, it's on our Spotify. We did release an album because we're all friends with a bunch of different like EDM producers. We kind of cross pollinate with that scene based on the technology that we implement, but. That's a really good idea. And it could also be an educational thing. You said your manual is propping up your computer. So I'll take this moment to shout out like all the amazing YouTube content creators with Ableton tutorials like Seed to Stage. And like, I watched so many different people. And it's YouTube University. People might not recognize the fact. I went to school for music production, and like hands down, not even close, learn way more, way quicker, way better on YouTube for free.
College guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
Right. Yeah. It was worth it in certain degrees, but like if you want the nitty gritty nuts and bolts of Ableton, YouTube is like I tell all my friends that want to get into stuff, they're like, please, like you have it it's right here at your fingertips. You can get a free version of Ableton Lite from anywhere pretty much, or if you buy a $99 interface, it's going to come with a free version of Ableton, and you can watch free tutorials and you can become a producer with using stock plugins. Like it's the gateway to entry is really low for music production in this day and age, which is a really beautiful thing.
No, I appreciate that mentality. Kind of that egalitarian, it's for everyone, and just that openness to the process, because I think it makes even fans like me who dabble here and there and stuff like that really appreciative of the time that you're spending to do that kind of work, because you're layering in so much, but what you're getting out of it is probably to some extent adding in some of that sound or that feeling that you maybe had with additional people on stage and kind of control that.
That's where it initially came from, was
Mhm.
we felt like something was kind of missing. So we went with a technological stance. And I've come to find that I like it maybe even more using loops and really like crazy synthetic elements. I've been implementing new tools like Shaper Box and Transit. There's a new baby audio plugin called Transit, and these are multi-effect tools where you program them to MIDI knobs, and live you can just get really wacky with the stutters and the glitches and the phasing and the wackiness.
And I think that really helps kind of that really shapes our sound too, you know, like the ability to utilize that stuff. It's like, you know, how do you make a 4-piece band sound like 8 people? And, you know, Ableton really opens the doors to a bigger, more intricate sound.
I'm thinking I've not seen what you do in practice live, but Conspirator, do you know them?
Yep,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember seeing them back in the day. Yep.
Now, what they would do would be have a track and then improvise off of the
Yeah.
track and come back. How are you guys, when you're incorporating these set pieces, using that with the improvisation? How do you rectify the two of having something that is what it is, this loop, with being able to improvise?
That's where the sound manipulation comes in, the modulators. So tons of fun tools, LFO tool. You can do really cool things. And this is all like Ableton stock stuff. Because I think a lot of people actually might know what I'm talking about when it comes to some of this stuff. But yeah, you can use like auto pan to create a stutter effect. You can use transient shapers or like ducking tools to create pumping effects. I recently have been in love with, I mentioned it before, Shaper Box, which if anybody dabbles in music production, I highly suggest checking out that tool, where these are multi-effects tools that will take samples and rip them apart. And you can set different loop points if you want. Then I also have a looper. I have every element of my rig plugged into an individual looper on the Ableton session. So I can press a button and loop the Nord piano, press a button, loop a VST, press a button, loop anything, loop the saxophone, loop the voice. So you can create new loops on the fly and improvise over them. But most importantly, use of panning and filters to create you can take a loop, you can take like a one phrase keyboard loop of a chord progression, and you can milk it for 10 minutes if you use modulators the right way.
Yep.
And no one will get bored.
Right. Now, also, we will sort of abandon those tracks mid-jam, where we do kind of just come completely, you know, back to
Totally.
organic. And then, like, since we're using a click track for a lot of those things that are using a track, obviously, it makes it really easy when we do want to come back to it, because we're already in that tempo, and it gives a good effect of just being super locked in.
Do you ever just throw them loops? I mean, throw them like curveballs with what you're doing when you're up there?
There's been occasional times. Yeah, totally.
I mean, I think that's one of the funnest parts about improvisation is, you know, not only doing things as a group, but occasionally, like, you know, just having fun with each other, where you're like, hey, you guys aren't going to expect this one, but it's going to be sweet.
Yeah,
you know?
more so than not. It probably happens every show once or twice as an accident.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, oops, this one, like, I triggered this one early, and we're jamming on the A section of this song, and it usually ends up pretty cool. That happens more. That probably happens quite frequently, where we accidentally find ourselves into a territory where it's like that loop is going. There's no going back. Let's make this work. So which can be really fun. But yeah, and there's been a case like. I do really like composing for the improv sessions. I've been meaning to do this more because it's really fun, is write out a bunch of A section, B section chord progression loops and live just throw it out there in a jam, and which we'll do. Like when writing a set list, it's pretty easy to be like, okay, this song is at 120 BPM in the key of F minor. Therefore, let's go into an F major to a minor 4 jam. So we'll go F major to like a B flat minor. Okay. And I will program a loop pre-show that is F major to B flat minor. And we don't even rehearse it. It's just like, hey guys, this is in the set tonight. Because we know what to improvise. We know how to improvise over chord changes. So I can bring things to the table last minute, which I've been meaning to do more often. Your cat is very cute. It's scratching its chin.
Oh yes, that is Catherine the Great.
Catherine the Great. We have a Gigi. Gigi the dog over in the corner. I don't know if she's going to come over here.
Yeah.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.